Hey there, everybody. This is McFlyGold, and welcome to episode 3 of the Point and Click Adventure Toolkit tutorial series. Yep, that's a mouthful. All right. If you've been following along with the first 2 episodes, you should have a scene similar to this. We have some interactable objects, a couple of floors, and some doors that will lead us between them. That takes us to the second floor. I'll take us to the first floor. We've got our lamp, our nightstand, and our chest. Beautiful. So to start this one off, what we're going to do is make an inventory object that we will collect and then use to go through the door that will be a locked door. There's a couple of little steps here. The first one we're going to do is just, we are in my meshes folder, yep. And we're going to bring in my puppy chow. If you watched the preview video, you'll see where this is all heading to. The puppy chow comes with a very crappy texture that I made. And we're going to, whoops, that's not the puppy chow. We're going to add this material. So I took the texture, I right-clicked and made a material. And we're going to add it to the puppy chow and save. We could save all of that. Now we're going to go to the blueprints and make the actual blueprint. So blueprint class. And here we're going to search under all classes for item. And we want the item base. Select that. We're going to name this BP Puppy Chow. Okay, we're going to open that up. I'm going to take the sphere for this. I'm going to scale it to 1. Grab the static mesh, and we're going to change that to the puppy chow we just imported. All right, bring this down like that. And then what we want to do is come over here to the collision and make sure it's set to block all dynamic. Perfect. Okay, now that we have that, let's click off on everything here, click on the top one, and we want to come down here to item data, so it's all the way on the bottom here. There's an item data up here which has the struct information. Don't touch that. We want to use this one down here, and we're going to give it a name of puppy chow. That's going to show up in the data table that we're going to use. That's going to tell our scene that this is an item that we can collect. So right here we have the dialog data table, which we're going to edit in a moment. But right now, let's go to miscellaneous. We right-click miscellaneous, add data table. Take this and scroll down to the bottom and choose item list. Click OK. So for this one, we're going to call it item list level 1, because that's the scene that we're creating here is level 1. Open it up, click add. For the row name, we're going to call it puppy chow. It needs to be spelled the same way as we just did for the item name here for item data. Make sure it's spelled exactly the same. Here, this is what's going to show up in the inventory when you hover over it. So you can space that out, that's fine. And in here, I don't have a custom icon, but there's a fish one for the demo. So I'm going to steal that one. And then here, inspect puppy chow. This is going to be a dialog that pops up when the item's in your inventory. and you right click on it to inspect it. We haven't made this yet, but that's coming up. That'll be another thing we're going to do is right up here on pickup dialog. We're going to write pickup puppy chow. So there'll be two dialogues for this puppy chow. One that happens when the player picks it up, and the second one if he inspects it while it's in the player's inventory. So let's open up dialog, and we need to add those rows in here. First one we're going to do is for the locked door. We're going to add a sequence. I think I'm forgetting something. All right, let's save that. Okay, the next one we'll do is pickup. Just making sure that I'm spelling it right because I'm a terrible typer. Pickup puppy chow. And for this one, we're going to add, you can just do it now. We're going to add 3 sequences to this. So the first one, we'll say all natural ingredients. The second one, we're going to leave blank, but we are going to shorten the timer on it to 1 second. And then the third one, I just write neat. And we'll say that's complete. So what's going to happen here is it's going to play all of these in a sequence. So all natural ingredients, space, nothing, so it clears it. And minimize that. So all natural ingredients, minimize. Okay. Yeah, there we go. All natural ingredients, and then the space, and then neat. So he'll say one, pause, and then say the other. And then add, and this one is inspect. Did I spell that right? I did not. And for inspect, we just have them say one thing. Feed the dog. Save. So now we want to come to our scene manager and tell it that this data table exists, which is over here. So the item list, which is the one that we just made with one item in it, that's the one. It's already referencing the dialogue one that we made in a previous episode. So item list, we'll just drag that into there, save. And we can grab the puppy chow and pull it into the scene. We'll add it to the interaction volume and then rotate and rotate. Let's put on my snapping here and just pull it up and into the chest. That should be good. Yep. Okay. So if all goes well, and I didn't goof something up here, when I hit play, I can open the chest. All natural ingredients. Neat. Now the items in our inventory, it says puppy chow, and when we right click, I think I should feed the dog. Perfect. Exactly what we wanted. All right. Now the next thing we want to do is lock the door and make it so that you can only open a door if you've picked up the puppy chow. Now, in order to do that, we do have to change our scene just a little bit. When I first created the scene, it had just 2 base doors that were part of the default project, but we want to actually alter the functionality of this bottom one. So I'm going to come here into this content browser, and I'm going to search for visual because that's the door that we used. And in the blueprints for this level, I'm going to copy that visual door. Let's turn that off. And then I'm going to rename this with F2. And I'm just going to call it door 1. So that's going to be the first floor. And then I'm going to duplicate that one. And it'll be door 2. That's fine. Now in the scene, we're going to replace these 2 doors in here with these 2 doors. So I'm going to click door 1 and then select the bottom one, right click and replace it. And for this one, I'm going to click door 2, right click and replace. So now it's not referencing the other door anymore. Now it's referencing these 2 new doors that we've just created. Now we'll link them up together so that right now the door won't go anywhere. It'll just bring me back into this room because I haven't linked it to anything. So here for target door, click and choose the top one. Then choose the top one and do the same thing. Choose the bottom one. Now, you should go to the second floor. Perfect. Okay, we're going to take this one and we're going to say is unlocked and we're going to say false. It is not unlocked, it is locked. Save. And now we can't get through. This is where the fun part comes in. We're going to select that door, door 1, and we can edit it. What I'm going to do is create a custom event here. I'm going to say check door. We're going to come over to this navigation, and on enter door, we're going to make 2 changes. Pull this apart here, and between this and its parent function, we're going to add that check door that we just made. And when we've opened the door, user save game. So what's going to happen is when the player gets through the door, it'll save their progress. All right. Now back here, this is where we're going to add the functionality for our door. I'm going to get the scene manager. And what I want to do is get state strings. Choose the function. And in here, we're going to say contains. This is going to be fed fluffy. Now, right now, we're not going to use this, but it's a setup for the future to get the door to do different things. You guys will see in the next episode. All right. So right now, we're checking to see if it contains fed fluffy. And what we should do is go to our scene manager. That's this one right here. And as state of strings, we're going to add fed fluffy. We can close that. So what this is going to do when we check is it's going to see if that state string exists. Fed Fluffy. It's going to be true because we just added it. And so now PNC player controller. We're going to get that PNC player controller. And what we're going to do is we're going to check if the player has our puppy chow in his inventory. Hold B, make a branch. So now, if he doesn't, we're going to check and see if the door's unlocked, which is here under settings, control and drag and unlocked. Make a branch and connect these up. Now, if the door is unlocked, we're not even going to get that far anyway. But if it's not unlocked, we're going to PNC character. Look at. We want that under false. And we're going to get the PNC. Actually, I was using the player camera manager, so I think that should be okay. And we're going to get the actor's location and say look at. So what this is going to do is make the character that we're playing look at the player. And we're going to start a dialogue sequence of locked door. So right now it's going to say, okay, Fed Fluffy exists in the scene manager. Now it's going to check and see if we've got the puppy chow. If we do not have the puppy chow, then it's going to ask, is the door unlocked? Which it's not, because we haven't been through the door. Because we don't have the puppy chow. So he's going to look at the player, and he's going to say the dialogue that we set up under locked door, which says, I think I'm forgetting something. We can test that out right now. I think I'm forgetting something. Perfect. But if we do have the puppy chow, then I want to change the door's lock state to unlocked. Now let's test that. I think I'm forgetting something. Get the puppy chow. Whoops. All natural ingredients. Neat. And now if we go to the door, he unlocks it, goes upstairs. Perfect. And I don't know if you noticed it, but on the top right, it said save. So if I turn this off and start it back up again, you'll see that the puppy chow is in our inventory. The chest is empty and the door is unlocked. It saved all of that progress. I right click on this. It says, I think I should feed the dog. Perfect. Everything is working. I didn't goof it up. All right. In the next episode, we will add Fluffy and add some functionality to Fluffy to actually eat the dog food, and then change our destination of this door when we go through it. I'll catch you in the next episode.